Airport in the Navagam village of Taluka Dholera. Besides handling the logistics requirement of DSIR, the proposed Greenfield Airport will handle the spillover traffic of the existing Ahmedabad International Airport. The airport will propel an airport-led economic growth in the entire region. Government of Gujarat has formed an SPV, Dholera International Airport Company Limited, to facilitate the project in PPP mode with the help of project management consultant as per the Greenfield Airport policy of the Government of India. Dholera International Airport Company has obtained necessary approvals such as environment clearance, in-principle approval, etc. from Government of India. Dholera Airport project has been declared as an early bird project jointly by Department of Industrial Policy and Promotion, DMICDC and the government.
Whether it was Chandigarh or whether it is Noida or others, do you take anything from a decade to 2 decades or even longer to develop? So this private capital is not going to be required on day one. It will be required as these projects gather steam and momentum.
But what's there for the private sector? And will it prove to be commercially viable?
There are activities which don't have the ability to generate commercial revenues. Typically urban roads, sewage, solid waste disposal can generate revenues, but certainly not enough to recover the capital cost. Whereas there are other kinds of activities which are obvious, electricity generation, telecom services, power generation, which can easily be water even, which can be more commercially viable. And those are then left to the private sector. But even where you are looking at public funding, financing those assets, which have to be necessarily financed by public funding, it does not mean, and that's an important distinction to make, it does not mean that the provider of those services has to be the public.
Kant is aware of the situation, and perhaps that is why the DMIC has sought around 18,500 crore rupees to build the trunk infrastructure. Like drainage, water supply and public transport.
One must realize that there is a very important component of the trunk infrastructure. If you don't have good drainage, if you don't have good sewage, if you don't crack the trunk infrastructure, which is commercially not viable, the other component of the private-public partnership will not happen. So the trunk infrastructure, to our mind, is the key, and that is where the government needs to step in. New cities, over a 30-year period, are very commercially viable. They take a longer period. They take 13 years, 14 years to break even. But once they break even, then they generate a lot of resources. And from that 13th year to the 30th year, they in fact generate so much of resources that you can make many more cities. But the key challenge here is that you should be able to monetize land value. That is the key challenge.
Monetizing land value is not the only challenge. In fact, the list of challenges is a rather long one. From land acquisition to financing to governance. When we come back, we'll see at what the road ahead for DMIC looks like.
Braj Binani Group and Bloomberg UTV present Building India. Braj Binani Group and Bloomberg UTV present Building India.
That is how the future cities of a country would look like. If the projections by the DMIC project are anything to go by. It is perhaps the most ambitious project since independence. From building mega industrial zones to building mega cities. The DMIC wants to give the country a complete facelift. But planning is one thing, and translating plans into reality is another. As Pradeep Singh, the Vice Chairman and Managing Director of IDFC Project says, master plans are often more violated then being followed.
Sustained plug-and-play project. Ready for both the international companies that are in talks with the central government as well as residential and commercial complexes, making it a part of a global fraternity of smart cities like Shanghai and Beijing. The smart future is here at Dholera SIR. With a beautiful environment and all the latest smart facilities, this is the perfect place to begin a new future or even set up a business. With the influx of large national and international companies planning to set up in Dholera SIR, the economic and social development of this area will make it on par with international mega cities. Construction of world-class ABCD building is in full swing.
The Dholera SIR is going to be developed in an area of more than 360 square kilometers. It will be developed as a global hub of economic activity, supported by world-class infrastructure, premium civic amenities and centers of excellence. It will cater to both international and domestic markets. The SIR will have multiple business, financial, recreational and residential districts. It will provide the next generation of housing with cultural, recreational and amusement spaces. The centerpiece of the SIR is the CBD, the Central Business District. This building will be a masterpiece of design and art, an iconic structure that will stand out as an imprint of Gujarat's ingenuity and enterprising spirit. A true monument dedicated to New Gujarat, the Golden Gujarat. The Dholera SIR will have a low carbon footprint due to extensive investments in harnessing solar and wind power. The adjoining Kalpasar Dam will create a sweet water reservoir which will transform the area into a lush green landscape. And on the outskirts, it is proposed to further develop the Black Buck Sanctuary and the golf course as tourist attractions. The central spine of the Dholera SIR will be a 10-lane expressway. This will connect the SIR with Ahmedabad on the one hand and with the airport and seaports on the other. The SIR will also be linked with Ahmedabad city through a metro rail system. The SIR will be serviced by a world-class international airport and major seaports in the area. While the state government is committed to public investment in core infrastructure, it is also open to attracting private investments. The SIR will be governed by a new SIR Act, another first of its kind in India. The state government has already enacted the SIR Act. SIR is a self-governed economic region enjoying global benchmarks. It has the full support of the central government and the commitment of the state government and its leadership. It has the logistics support of the upcoming Dedicated Freight Corridor, or DFC, between Delhi and Mumbai. The SIR will be serviced by the Gujarat International Finance Tech City, which is better known as GIFT. The Dholera SIR is a lifetime opportunity. The SIR offers a gamut of opportunities. Opportunities that exist in building its infrastructure. Opportunities that exist in setting up industries or other economic activities.